Hi. Okay, I have a couple of reasons why I'm doing this video this week. The first is that I want to kind of help you consolidate all the information that we've learned this week. So we're going to talk about that, and then I also want to teach you how to do the assignment. So if you haven't submitted an assignment in Blackboard before, I'm going to show you how to do that. So hopefully that's helpful. So this week you have completed your site assessment, your Lassie, you've thought about mindset in the video and then in the chapter, and it talked a little bit about grit as well. And I want you to kind of put all of those pieces together as you're thinking about yourself, especially as you're thinking about yourself in school. So what are some things that you have been successful at school before? And why? Okay, so I want you to think about that, and I want you to think about what are your strengths and weaknesses in school, right? So you took the Lassie and you have an idea of things that you're doing well in school, those study strategies that you're not doing maybe at all. Most of my students do not do self-testing, right? And so things like that. So you have kind of some picture of things that you do and that you do well, and things that you don't do or that you don't do well. Your site assessment is talking about your learning preferences and how you learn best. All right, I am a visual learner, right? It's hard for me to remember things when I just hear them, but when I see them, it's easier for me to remember, okay? And so I know that about myself, and I can use that. Now, one important thing that they talked about in the book, and I hope that you caught it, is that you're not stuck, right? Because, you know, as a visual learner, most of the teaching that I do is visual, right? Because I teach what works for me and what makes sense to me. So if you're a kinesthetic learner in my class, you're not going to get a lot of kinesthetic options. So it's up to you to build those activities in. You know, maybe you walk your dog or go for a walk while you're reviewing the terms from the week, or while you're thinking about something that we learned or applying it to another class, like you're doing your reading or you're reviewing your vocabulary words or something like that. Or you create some activities where you can use more of those kinesthetic skills, right? You use flashcards and you move them around or something like that. But I did appreciate that about the book, that and it ties into what we learned about mindset too. You're not stuck, right? You are in control of so much, right? And your brain can change. So I've talked about how I'm not a naturally organized person, but this is just super apparent to me at the beginning of the semester, right? When we've got a whole new routine and a whole new schedule. But I talk to my friends who are super organized, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do that too, right? That makes sense to me, what they're doing, like packing their school lunches and their kids' backpacks the day before school. And so you don't wake up in the morning and you're already running late, and now you have to figure out what your kids are going to do for lunch and where are their backpacks and where are their shoes, right? If everything's ready the night before. So my encouragement to you this week is that you're not stuck, right? Maybe you don't do self-testing. Maybe your main idea selection is terrible, right? Or something. You're not stuck. And what I hope that you get out of this class, right? We're going to just spend the first couple of weeks looking at what we're like. Who am I, right? Who am I? And some of that is awesome, and some of that is bad habits that I've picked up and that I've learned and that I need to unlearn, right? And so I hope that you are just really clearly looking at yourself, evaluating your strengths and weaknesses, not so that you can be like, oh, I'm so terrible, I'm going to be terrible at this forever, right? But so that you can be encouraged, okay, this is an area I need to work on, and this is how I'm going to work on it. Now, you don't have a lot of this is how I'm going to work on it yet, but I'm going to tell you what those things are. Okay, so be encouraged this week that you are going to see some improvement, that I am going to give you some strategies that work. Okay, so let's look at that assignment. All right, so when you go into our course content click on week 1. Here's your week 1 checklist. In the complete folder, all the way at the bottom, what's my why assignment? Okay, so I want you to use one page to tell your story about why you're here, what your education journey looks like, why you're in the class, what you're hoping to get out of it, anything like that. You do not have to talk about every single question that's on here. Mostly I just want it to be about a page. Okay, so what you can do here is you can write a submission in the text, right? So you just write it in here. One page is about 250 words, 300 words, something like that. So you can just type 300 words. It'll keep track of your word count down here. So you can just type it in here, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I am not checking this for grammar, so don't worry about that. I really just want you to get your thoughts down on the paper. So you can do that, and then you would just press submit after your full submission. Or you can click here to browse local files. Sorry, before that, you've created something in Microsoft Word, okay? Set up a new document. Then over here, you're going to go to File, Save. I like to keep everything in my documents, right? So I title this something. What's my why? That I will remember. And then I've got that saved. And then I'm going to browse local files. In my documents, I'm going to go to what's my why, open, and submit. And that's how I submit that. So you're not going to do both of those things. You're just going to pick one or the other. So that's how you submit an assignment in Blackboard. So yeah, that should be all that you need to know for week 1. But if you have any questions, let me know. Talk to you soon.